What's up, Hyperdrivers? Welcome back to the channel. Today in the house, I have a Kanan Jarrus Neopixel Lightsaber. Where did I pick this one up? How much did it cost? And how did I assemble it? It's because this one comes with some assembly. I'm gonna go over all of that right now. Let's get to this. Welcome back, Hyperdrivers and newcomers. I am the Medinalorian, and here on the Hyperdrive, we talk about Star Wars news, collecting, and video games. If you like the content that you see on this channel, please give me a thumbs up so you can let the YouTube algorithms know that we're doing a great job. Hit that subscribe button and punch that bell so that you can jump to light speed every week with us right here on the Hyperdrive. All right, so if you hear in my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather right now, so if I sound kind of crappy, I apologize. I'm trying my best right here. My voice is a little bit cracky at times. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the lightsaber of Kanan Jarrus, also known as Caleb Dume, Jedi Knight and trainer of Ezra Bridger from the TV show Star Wars Rebels. This is the lightsaber right here that you get from End Sabers, and you can get it in two different ways. You can get it with the Neopixel blade, which gives you a price point of $459, or this one right here, which is the Profi board, and it's $589. Either way, you can use the code MEDINALORIAN if you decide to pick this one up after the video, and it'll save you 7% on your purchase. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to get to it. So let's go over what this lightsaber comes with. Obviously, you're gonna get the hilt. It's gonna be much of a lightsaber without one. You get this really awesome carrying case for you to walk around with. It's hefty, it's got metal corners, which is really cool. You got the clasps on the other side, which lock it into place. And then it says End Sabers on the very front of the case. So that's what that comes with. Pop this thing open. All right. Inside the case, you're going to get a blade so that you can install it. It's a Profi blade. All right, you get a charging cable. This lightsaber has a removable battery that you could charge with, but you can also charge via USB-C if you want to charge quickly. And I'll show you guys that when I disassemble the blade and show you what that looks like. You get some gloves so that you don't get fingerprints on it, although the style of this hilt doesn't really lend itself to fingerprints that much, so I don't see myself really needing it. Excuse me. You get some instructions, all right? You get a set of O-rings that you're gonna need, and then a set of screws to install the guard. You also get the keys for you to install, and the wrench for you to install the blade, okay? So that's what comes inside of the case. As well as the hilt, you also get a display stand and a plaque, which when you put it together looks like this, okay? So you can put this piece right here. And it's a nice spot here if you wanted to get a custom one so that you can take and maybe put Caleb Dume or Kanan Jarrus or whatever you wanted to do. Every lightsaber you get from End Sabers comes with one of these display stands. So that's pretty dope. All right, let's take a look at this hilt. All right, and here it is, the hilt of Kanan Jarrus Caleb Dume. It's a very awesome looking hilt, and I think it's a pretty faithful design to the look of the lightsaber from the TV show. Did a really nice job with it, all right? So here's your forward part of the emitter with the emitter shroud on it. You can see that you also get a blade plug that you can remove, and then you can put the blade in, which is cool. This blade plug has, it's not a Neopixel blade plug. So it allows for the RGB lights that shoot out, the LED lights, to shine right through, and then it gives you that look like the lightsaber is about to ignite, which that looks pretty cool. Your retention screws right here for your blade. So you get 3 of them, 1 at the very front and then 2 on the sides, okay? You have your guard right here. Now the guard, I've always liked this is because it kind of reminds me a little bit of the look of the Ralph McQuarrie lightsabers. The lightsaber design for the Ralph McQuarrie lightsabers had a really wide emitter like this. They didn't have this extension for the emitter. This is actually where the blade would emit from, but you have this really big disc in that design, and I like that they incorporated it on this particular hilt. So that looks really cool. You got this section right here, which leads into this greebly section, which you'd think would be the button, but it's not. These little tabs here on the side, little points right there, kind of remind me a little bit of the Graflix hilts. Anakin's lightsaber gives me that kind of impression. You have your grips, which are all metal and green, which is really cool. I like that hunter green look that it has. So that looks really nice. It's a dark green, and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. Like I said, the entire hilt itself is more of a brushed metal, so you're not going to get fingerprints on this one. So that's pretty cool. here's your switch. The switch kind of reminds me a little bit of the design of the Luke Skywalker lightsaber. You got a circuit board type of switch right here, but then you have these little arrows on the back, which remind me a little bit of Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. And this is your on and off switches right here. I'm not a big fan of these. They're super small. Kind of wish they would have put it right here, like one up here and one in the back. So this is your auxiliary button, and then your turn on and turn off button right there. Very, very small, and it makes it a little bit hard to work with when you're actually playing with the lightsaber. So if you decide to want to do combat with it and stunts and stuff, that can make it a little bit difficult. All right, and then it leads back into the pommel, and you got a little D clip right here so that you can clip it to your belt, little D ring. All right, and then it's got a nice opening. It's a nice sounding lightsaber, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Now, like I stated at the beginning, this lightsaber, it requires assembly. When you get it, the guard and the emitter shroud are not installed on this hilt when you first get it. And then neither is this retention plate that you have to put on. So there's 3 different pieces that you have to all attach. This slots inside of the shroud, and then that's what locks everything into place. There's an O-ring that sits right behind the shroud. And if you decide to take that off, it makes it very easy to put on these 2 screws right here. The problem is that if leaving the O-ring off, is that this guard then becomes very loose and spins, and then it gives you that clanking sound when you're messing around with the lightsaber, and that doesn't sound really good. So you really need to have the O-ring in it, which I've put back in it. But when you go to put the O-ring in and you try to install everything, these screws right here do not line up. And it's really, really difficult. I spent like about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes trying to figure out a way to get this to work. The trick to doing it is to take off the entire front part of the emitter, and that can be removed by just unscrewing it right from here like this. Okay? So you take this entire section off, all right? Then you remove this sleeve, okay? You install your O-ring, you install your forward part of your emitter and your guard, put that all back into place like that, and then you just screw this back on just like that. And then the pressure from screwing it on once you take and tighten it up completely is what puts everything into place and nice and tight, and then you don't get that clanking sound that I told you about, okay? That's how you do it. So if you decide to get it, that's what you need to do when you take and put that together, all right? To get to your Profi board, you're gonna unscrew your pommel, okay? And then your chassis has a little tab right here that you could just pull back on. It is a little bit tight, okay? And then your entire chassis comes out like that. There's no kill switch on this one, so it kind of just goes to sleep after a little bit. You got your battery that you can remove and charge that way. You also have a USB-C right there that you could take and charge on the fly if you want to. And then you have your Profi board right there where you could take and remove the card, install your own sound fonts, put your own blade colors and effects, and do all this cool stuff that you want to do, and then put it all together, and then it's your own lightsaber. All right, I'm gonna put a blade in it right now, and I'll show you what it comes with it from factory. All right, so the blade is fully installed. Like I said before, your retention screws are right there, and right there, and it gives it a nice, tight, firm fit. There's no wobble in the blade whatsoever, and it hits pretty well. So there's no wobble or any kind of effect that I feel in the hilt when I do that, all right? To turn the blade on, you could either hit the button or you could do gesture, which is nice. I always love gesture. You got a real nice smooth swing, and it's got a very nice hum to it. It's nice and loud. So if you want a nice sounding lightsaber, this one sounds pretty good, okay? To turn it off, you can also use gesture. Or again, you could take and turn on this button right here, which again is very small. So especially for my fingers, you can press that button and then that turns the blade on and turns it off. Okay? The effects that it has. You have blade clash. Okay? You have blaster bolts, which again, small. I almost got to use 2 hands to do it because it's very difficult to do with the one finger. Almost to get the memory is difficult. All right? So you have that. If you press and hold it, and see, it's hard. There you go. You can get the blade lock by pressing and holding that and then hitting, but because it's so tiny, it makes it hard to get that, okay? So those are the effects that you have. You can also change sound fonts and change colors. You turn the blade off, then you press your auxiliary button. All right, there's a General Kenobi one. Another Kenobi. This is going to be Darth Maul. Whoops. Whoops. Didn't mean to hit that. Hit my light. There's your red. I really like the sound of this hilt. It's because the openings in the back allow for a nice echo to the sound. So it amplifies the sound almost as you're feeling it. And it feels pretty good in the hand with your ability to hold it right up by the guard, and it keeps it from falling out, which is cool. Okay. This is the Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker during A New Hope when he's training.
Tell me, is this training?
My training? No. Always training.
Bring your army. I'm ready.
Go nice green. And like I said, with all prophecies, you can always change all this stuff. So none of this is set in stone.
In this victory, we shall find.
Too many killed on both sides.
Emperor. It's one of those custom sounds, I don't even know. This one has kind of like a red, vibrating white look effect to it. Almost comes off as pink if you're looking at it from a distance because of all the white.
Never lose your temper.
Highlander. That can be only one. That one took a while. It's like the quickening. The pod racer one. Not a huge fan of these type of ones. They just take forever to start. Sound effect on this one's cool though. Proton. It's like the speeder bike sounds mixed with the proton pack in the beginning. This one's got like a lavender color to it. It glows yellow when it hits.
What is this? Team C.
The red right there. That's got an orange color to it. Real nice orange too.
Smooth gray.
This has got kind of like a white, almost gray color to it because of all the vibrating on it, the light pulsing.
Smooth Jedi.
This one's got like a blue-green going on in there, almost like an aqua.
Luke Skywalker.
You got Luke Skywalker. Another green.
I am told it is the dark saber.
Got a dark saber white. This would be the Cal Kestis.
Anakin.
And then you got an Anakin. And then you're back to the beginning. So they don't really have a Kanan Jarrus sound font to this one, which I'm gonna go find over at Cyberphonics, so that I could take it and get a Kanan on this one. So that would be kind of neat to have. But otherwise, lots of sound fonts for you to mess around with and play with right from the get-go. Again, you can install anything on this because it's a Profi board. All right, and that's gonna about do it for the Kanan Jarrus Lightsaber from N-Sabers. I think it's a really awesome looking design of hilt. I think they did a great job with capturing the look of the hilt from the TV show. So in that sense, I think the hilt is a really nice piece to have on the wall, so that's cool. It handles really well, feels good in the hand, so that's good as well too. And it comes with some really cool sound fonts from the get. I kind of wish it did come with a Kanan Jarrus from the get-go, especially since this is the hilt that it's inspired by. So I feel like that should have been something that should have been put in there. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is the placement of the buttons on this one here. I do wish that the buttons were up here and easier to press instead of these two little buttons here on the side. It's real difficult for my small hands, and I can't imagine what it would be for somebody that had some sausage digits. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good looking hilt, especially to have on the wall. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. And until next time, may the force be with you.